Yes, greetings.
Hi
So,
guys.
yes, I have asked my lovely wife here to take a seat beside me, Natalia, guys, and this is my announcement that Natalia has today sat her last exam. Yes, sat her last exam in her 4-year Doctor of Medicine graduate program at the University of the West Indies, and we have so far gotten a preliminary confirmation that Natalia has been successful in all components of the program, and as such, she is on, in the process, in the she passed everything right, and it's just for them to officially give the tick. But yes, she has been recommended for completion to be a consultant physician. And yeah, Facebook, all our thousands of friends, really, I want to really take this opportunity to really big up Natalia, big up my wife. Yeah, like it has really become evident that human beings can be so diverse and unique and special in the way that God makes us, because um, really my observation of Natalia living with her, I mean, when we got married, she was in the early stages of the program, so I got to see like what it's like to live with Natalia as a student. And if she is east, I am west as it regards to our academic discipline. Yeah, man. You know, like how the Bible in Proverbs says, "Go to the ant down sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, who having no overseer or ruler, gathereth her meat in the summer and their food in the harvest." Something to that effect. But Natalia, without a prompt, a overseer, a coach driving her, has really put herself into a disciplined regime of study. And I know that it has not been easy for her. Even if a day that she don't feel too well, Natalia still try and push through. Sleep, if I wake up and stir in the middle of the night, oftentimes I wake up to see Natalia studying. And Natalia is a young woman. She look like a baby. Yeah, she's probably the most baby-faced consultant in internal
No,
medicine
I
in
don't think so.
Jamaica. You know, but trust me, those are. Listen, nobody can bad mind Natalia for her accomplishments. Let me say that now, because if you know what Natalia puts into her preparation objectives, you stand back in awe. And I really want to say that my wife Natalia has been an extraordinary human being in managing the weights and the stresses of work with the COVID changes and demands that have come upon her. You know, everything together, Natalia has maintained a self-discipline. It's not me driving her and say, "Hey, Natalia, need to study." Not her parents say, "Hey, Natalia, I'm calling every night to say, study today," all of that. Natalia has been given a vision by God for her academic pursuit, and I'm really convinced that, the Bible says, it is God who works in us both to will and to do his good pleasure. Will, meaning that God has put in her the wish, the desire in her, and God has given her the ability. Like, I usually have a problem talking fast, but you see when Natalia studying and she starts recite to herself what she understands so far, Natalia is actually talking in Spanish. She just, and I know that that's just her very blessed brain running through a large dose of information that she's seen at one time. And yeah, God has really placed something in Natalia's heart, in Natalia's spirit. Really, sweetie, want to take this opportunity today to really, the Bible says, "Let her works praise her in the gates," Proverbs 31. And you have worked, and I believe that you should be praised. Yeah, you should be praised because you have been an extraordinary student, an extraordinary professional, an extraordinary worker. And I believe that any patient, any medical team of doctors that are blessed to be under your care, under your management, under your consultancy. They are indeed a blessed team, and I think God has prepared you, blessed you, equipped you such that you can be such a great instrument, because you have a heart for medicine, you have a heart to learn and to discipline yourself, to understand, and you take your patient care very seriously. Just from like a peripheral observation, when Natalia on the phone talking about medicine, lost. I am so lost. Sometimes it's like she's talking about the alphabets, A, B, C, S, T, SAT, that. I don't know what she's talking about. But really, I do commend you, and yeah, that's what I want to share with the world today. That my wife is where she is today, in the approved process, in the approved line for Jamaica's next set of medical doctor consultants in internal medicine. And shout out to you, Mr. and Mrs. Rose, for the daughter that you have brought up. I know that you have invested heavily in her education. I was just talking with her some time ago about even how getting a skeleton is expensive, as we are trying to get one at my workplace. And Natalia said, yeah, it was expensive because when we were renting one, it was expensive. And I was like, yo, that really said volumes to know that Natalia's parents would have invested in her getting a skeleton to prepare for his anatomy class.
Yes, yeah.
Anatomy classes, to rent. So shout out, and also definitely a big shout out to her older sister who has gone ahead of her into consultancy, yes. Dr. Nadia Rose, and definitely shout out to Elena as well, in her successful career in engineering, blessed family, and that is definitely commendation to your parents, Natalia, Mr. and Mrs. Rose, my in-laws, okay? Yes, so that's it, world. That's what I want to say and share with you today.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, baby.
So hi guys, I'm still processing the news. As I said, as Andre said, it's still not 100% finalized. As with any pass, it has to be finalized through the board. But it sounds like, yeah, I passed. And you know what? This is God. This is God. It wasn't an easy 4 years at all. It really wasn't. And especially this year with COVID and having to deal with the emotional distress and trauma that comes with the whole COVID experience, and having to manage patients that have become so sick with this disease, and patients who have other diseases, and it was a lot to have to do that, and balance studying and balance managing a team and a firm and all of that in one. So there was no point in the 4 years where I can say it was easy. No point. And even through the exams that I recently completed, sometimes there were several times where I just was blank and I really couldn't figure out what was being asked of me, and then I would pause and then I would just hear the answer. I told Andre this yesterday, like literally in one of my exams, I had no clue what was going on. And then I paused, and then somehow the answer just came out of my mouth. I don't know how that happened, other than God. It has to, it can only be God. And I am just grateful. I'm grateful. Thank you, Jesus. I am grateful for this husband of mine. Andre has been there from the start, from before I even got into the program, because there was actually a time where I wasn't getting into the program because I wasn't able to get sponsorship. And Andre prayed, and he came to me one day and said, "You're going to get in." And I was like, how am I going to get in? You remember that, right?
Yes, man. Yeah. I remember.
Yeah, but I said they have no space. And I was so pessimistic, and he was so confident. And I said, what's going to get in? I was like, where is this confidence coming from? They already said there's no space. And shortly after that, I got sponsorship. and a space opened up. He was there from the very start. He was there through all of the studying that I've had to do. Unfortunately, sometimes that would mean that it would have taken away from our actual marriage life, because it would always be, oh, I have to study. And he had to endure all of that. And you know what? He endured that gracefully. It became frustrating for both of us at times, but at the same time, he still supported 100%. And I'm truly grateful, Andre. I'm truly grateful, Andre, for what you have done. And even with this exam, when I had doubts in terms of whether or not I would pass, he was like, you pass. So God has also granted him with this kind of, this spirit of just reassurance and optimism. And that has also helped me to get through these entire 4 years. And of course, I'm grateful to my family. My big sister, she got through a year ago. Yeah. And she has been my motivation. So every step, somehow I ended up following Nadia's footsteps. And Nadia is my sister. Every step she took, that motivated me to continue along that line. When I started to have doubts, when I started to think, oh no man, this is too much, I said, okay, Nadia did it, she achieved it. She has your blood, you can do it too. So that really, really motivated me. And I thank you, Nadia, for constant support. Elena, who is always checking up on me. Elena doesn't know medicine. She's an engineer. But she would always check up on me to say, just ensure that I'm okay. And I'm truly grateful for that, sis. And of course, my parents, I don't even know what to say. My parents really invested in our education, like, significantly. And I am truly grateful for them having raised us to be who we are today, right? I mean, even if we weren't doctors, even if we weren't engineers, regardless of what, my parents really put in a lot to bring us to where we are today, and I'm truly, truly grateful to them. And I'm very grateful for all my friends in general, everybody who has reached out along the way to say, okay, I'm not gonna start calling names. I don't really want to get in trouble. But I'm grateful to you all, and I thank you all for the support that you have given me and Andre throughout these 4 years. Thank you, baby.
Yes, you're welcome, sweetie. Thanks, sweetie. Alright, guys, so definitely want to, as I said, this video was really to praise my wife. And this is not you fasting, right? This video is for you. This one is to let her works praise her in the gates. Thank you for watching Facebook. And just continue to trust in God and what He has invested in you for the purposes that you have. All right.